Well, good morning and happy Monday to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you had a good weekend. I'm going to share a simple truth with you today. My grandmother on my father's side, my mama, lived to be 100, and I will tell you, chances are great the combined prayers of my grandma, Loopy, my mama, my family is the reason that I am alive today. There's no question about it. And she used to say something that at the time I was hearing it, I did not really understand or agree with, and I'm going to share that 100-year-old wisdom with you. And she used to tell me, Stevie, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Isn't that interesting? I want to ask you a question. Do you have a desire to become, have, do more than you currently are becoming or doing or having? Do you have a desire? Do you feel like there's more inside of you that could come out? Like, are you kind of like, you ever bought flowers before? And there's some flowers that are just, they're still tightly wound together and they haven't yet fully bloomed yet to release that fragrance and the beauty that it is going to be stepping into. Have you ever felt like that? Like, maybe you're so tightly wound up. Maybe you just don't feel like you're in good soil. Maybe you're not being watered properly or nurtured or nourished. It can be a number of things, but most people, if asked, and if they were honest, would say, there's way more inside me than has shown up in this world. And the good news is, one of the ways that you can accelerate the time between being where you are and where you would like to be is through relationships. The relationships that you intentionally choose. You know where my mama may have got this from? Her favorite book was my favorite book, the Bible. In the book of Proverbs, written by King Solomon, he said this in Proverbs 13, verse 20. If you walk with the wise, you will grow wise, but a companion of fools comes to harm. Let me say that one more again. Hey, good to see you guys. I'm at a stoplight, so I can actually look at this thing. It looks like Tara and there. Good to see you today, this morning. If you walk with the wise, you will grow wise. A companion of fools comes to harm. Are you a companion with fools? It's okay. Don't feel bad about it. It is what it is, right? But think about this. If you walk with the wise, you will grow wise. Let's just break that down literally, okay? Let's just be completely literal about this. Let's just say that you were going to go on a marathon and it was going to be a walking marathon, not a running marathon, a walking marathon. And there was a group of about 8 wise women, very, very wise women. And let's say you were, immature or stupid or just foolish. Let's just say, let's imagine, I know none of you are, but let's say there was this group of 8 really wise women. And they said, honey, we'd like you to walk with us on this 26 miles. And because it's a walk and it's not an actual run, this marathon, it may take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. So let's just say you're literally walking with the wise. By the time you get to that finish line, I'm going to share something with you. You will be a different person. You will be a different person, or at least you will have the opportunity to be a different person. You will have the opportunity to be a different person because you would have been around conversations you would not have been around if you were hanging out with your old bottle of wine a night crew. You would be having different conversations than if you were hanging out with your normal gossip crew. You'd be having different conversations than if you were around your old blame victim crew. The conversation is different. Now listen, you wouldn't have had to go to school. You wouldn't have had to read a book. You wouldn't even have had to listen to a podcast. You would just literally walk for 26 miles with 8 wise women And Proverbs 13:20 would come true. If you walk with the wise, you will grow wise. A companion of fools comes to harm. So the opportunity that you have before you today is to decide who you want to walk with. Now, I'll tell you this. 32 years ago, when I was a dead, dying, suicidal, bipolar, manic, depressive crackhead locked up in the Texas State Hospital, not too many people wanted to be my friend. Not too many people wanted to spend time with me. Not too many people had any concern or care for what Steve Collins had coming out of his little mouth. I'm going to tell you, not only was I not sought out, I was intentionally avoided, and for good reason. So you know what? I thought, where can I lean into relationships? I leaned into the family that had forgiven and had grace for me for the things I struggled with. I leaned into my Bible. I read the book of Proverbs over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Most of you don't know this, I attended a major Ivy League university. Incredible formal education, major Ivy League university known as SAC. In San Antonio. San Antonio College. There was Ivy all over most of the buildings. But my point is, there was a place called the Bible Chair Church of Christ, and there was a pastor there named Charles Johansson. I was pretty stupid back then, and Charles told me one day, well, Steve-O, if you really want to get smart, and you really want to grow wise, just read the book of Proverbs over and over and over and over again. King Solomon, wisest man ever lived, wrote it with King David, and you'll get pretty smart. And I followed the man's advice. I was coachable even back then. So you don't have to have an actual human being to have the impartation of that human being. Who do you admire? Who do you look up to? Do you like Elon Musk maybe? Do you like Steve Jobs? I don't know. Do you like Muhammad Ali or whoever it may be that you look up to? Do you know, if you read their autobiography, if you read books by them, it's almost as if you get to walk with the wise. You get to choose who you can walk with by what you read, by the way, and take that impartation and that information so that hopefully it will turn into activation and manifestation. That's the idea here. We don't want to learn for the sake of learning, because knowledge just puffs you up. We want to learn for the sake of activating it and then paying it forward and imparting it to other people. We want to utilize that knowledge to take action and then achieve results and then help others to do the same, ideally. So if you walk with the wise, you're going to grow wise. A companion of fools comes to harm. You have the opportunity today to listen to the 100-year-old wisdom of my Mama Collins, who said it her special way. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. Your friends aren't bad. Your friends aren't terrible. They're not evil people. You guys are not conspiring horrible things. And just know this, the conversations you have are keeping you where you are, or the conversations you're leaning into will be conversations you will grow into and have a chance to bloom like that flower I mentioned earlier. You know what the best news of this whole deal is this Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen? The choice is yours, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. Choice is yours. You get to choose. I hope today you choose to walk with the wise. Have a great Monday.